Moving on now, in the U.S. stock futures dipped slightly on Friday, but traded in tight ranges as investors focused on the coming monthly jobs report, which is already out. Let's watch out for a rebound for jobs growth. Our investors are bracing for another batch of earnings reports from Alibaba Group Holding and others. Several Federal Reserve speakers will make appearances at a conference as well. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures were down 0.18%, while S&P 500 futures slipped 0.19%. Nasdaq 100 futures fell 0.2%. For the week, the Dow Industrials were set for a 1.6% slide as of Thursday's close, while the S&P 500 was looking at a 1.5% fall and the Nasdaq at a 0.4% decline. In Asia, markets turned in a subdued performance, with major indices closing in negative territory as investors watched how U.S.-China trade talks progressed. Greater China markets were weak for most of the trading day, weighed down by losses in the financial and metal sectors. The Shanghai Composite edged down 0.32%, while the Shenzhen Composite lost 0.21%. The Hang Seng Index declined 1.06%, with financials and tech weighing down the index. In Australia, the ASX 200 was down 0.58%. The Kospi dropped 1.04%. Japanese markets were closed on Friday for a holiday. Embarcare Vivo Energy has launched the largest IPO of the year on the London Stock Exchange with a valuation of nearly £2 billion. The initial offer price for the just under 30% of the company floated was set at 165 pence per share, and the shares advanced to 169.50 pence in conditional trading. The company is the downstream fuels joint venture of energy trading house Vitol and Halois Investment Partners. It sells Shell-branded fuels and lubricants at nearly 2,000 filling stations in 15 African countries. The IPO is the most significant Africa-focused listing in London since Seplat raised $500 million in a 2014 IPO with a market capitalization of $1.9 billion. Chalmers, the listing would allow the company to join the benchmark FTSE 250 index. And Uganda's Purchasing Managers Manufacturing Index, otherwise known as PMI, slowed in April to 51.8 reading from 53.2 in March. The Market Standard Bank Uganda PMI report attributes the weaker index to lower output and fewer new orders in the industry, services and retail segment. Uganda's year-on-year inflation edged down to 1.8% in April from 2% in March on the back of a drop in food prices. And in Kenya, private sector activity jumped further in April after months of slowdown last year due to a prolonged and volatile election period. The Kenya inflation eased to 3.73% in April year-on-year from 4.18% last month, and that's its lowest level since January 2013. The output is up for the fourth month in a row as new orders rolled in from both local and foreign markets. Meanwhile, the World Bank is supporting Kenya's infrastructure development with a $1 billion concessional loan for energy, transport and water infrastructure projects in poorer regions. The Global Finance Institution says these regions have benefited little from Kenya's strong economic performance. World Bank concessional loans have 0 or very low interest rates and have repayment periods of 25 to 40 years with a 5 or 10-year grace period. And in Ghana, disillusioned by job market, a female master's degree holder, Esam Nyado, became a special kind of taxi driver. Esam has developed a niche market in a male-dominated field, serving expatriates, tourists, and corporate clients in Accra. Let's see this.
Esenam Nyado is one of only 4 female taxi drivers in Ghana's capital, Accra. After graduating with a master's degree in family resource management from the University of Ghana in 2013, S&M decided to start a taxi business rather than to wait to find employment, having seen an opportunity to start her own business. The entrepreneur says it wasn't easy at first, as most taxi unions of the country are run by men, and the ones she approached were not willing to work with her. The 40-year-old later bought a car on loan and joined a campus taxi unit near her former university.
When you've seen an issue, a challenge in society, you've seen a gap in society, you yearn to fill that gap. You yearn to solve challenges you might have found in society.
Youth unemployment has risen since 2014 due to slower growth caused by fiscal crisis and lower global prices for Ghana's gold, cocoa and oil. And as a result, tens of thousands of graduates remain unemployed in the country.
Thank you. You're welcome.
S&M has tailored her business to cater to corporate clients, tourists and experts working in Accra, and is now mostly referred to as Miss Taxi. Today, she's taking South African couple Mark and Tracy Somerton, who were visiting the country on a tour of Accra.
We wanted to see something different about Ghana. She didn't have a problem taking us through the back streets. She didn't have a problem. She's extremely knowledgeable, and more importantly, she's friendly too. So she made us feel very welcome. She made us feel very secure and very safe in Accra, which is wonderful.
Commuters in Accra have the choice to use traditional taxi services as well as ride-hailing services like Uber. S&M says she also has other regular customers and keeps in touch with clients through social media and phone messages to book rides.
How would the expatriate community want their transport needs to be tailored? How would the tourists want their transport needs designed? How would corporate Accra want to be served when it comes to satisfying their transport needs? And this is what I'm out doing.
S&M is also an ambassador for a transport project known as Women Moving the City.
African Development Bank set for its annual meeting. Details in a moment. Stay with us.